So one of the things that we've got to do as part of the prep for, a bit of a track day is checking everything over. Primarily, the stuff that helps you to stop. Because, in my opinion, that's about as important as it does get. These are Abarth 284 calipers, so they're the standard brakes on the Abarth. Obviously on the Panda, with it being significantly lighter, they're a bit more effective. Physics, who would have thought it? Brembo extra pads, which are honestly excellent pads. And Brembo discs, standard Brembo discs. It cracks me up because they write the limit on the outside edge of the disc. After the disc's been on there more than, 24 hours, you can't read the damn thing anyway. It is probably dictated online somewhere as well, but yeah, well, there you go. It might be there, but I can't make it out anymore. Minimum thickness is 20.2, 21.7, 21.4, 21.4, 21.47. There you go. So that is well within the spec. The pads have got probably 10mm left of them, and we know it works. 10.59. Well within spec as well. Okay. 21.5, 21.49, 12.5, spot on. 0.6. We're going to change the brake fluid. We're going to upgrade the brake fluid. The brake fluid's got to be 2 years old in this anyway, so you should do it. But we've got a bit of a special surprise for it, and yeah, it's no, it's not that. See that? That's the stuff. So we can get access to this now. As I might have mentioned, don't know whether I have or not, kind of forgotten. The brake fluid in this was done, it's over 2 years ago. You should replace it every 2 years because the brake fluid is hygroscopic, which means that it can absorb moisture from the atmosphere. And even though it's sealed and one thing, it will do. And as soon as it does that, and of course water boils at 100 degrees centigrade at sea level, etc. So when that braking system hits 100, which it will, because brake fluid, remember that I think the standard for .4 is about 220 degrees C. So when that boils, or when that gets hot, which it will, if that's hotter than 100 degrees and there's water in the brake line, then the water will boil, which will create a pocket of gas, steam, whatever. And then that becomes compressible. Liquid isn't compressible, whereas the gas would be. So you lose brake, or you get brake fade. I've got several machines. I've got I think this is a pressure bleeder. Now for a complete swap, if this lid fits on here, I might use this one. This is an easy bleed. This is a standard sort of, because for this type of thing, it's genuine. It's a bit raggy, but it's because normally what you would do, right, is you get a small Victorian child, one that's got a bit big to sweep the chimneys. You send him up there and you get him to pump the brake on command. But we're out of stock small Victorian children, so unfortunately, I could get one of the team here to give me a hand, but it's just me. Right, okay. does not exceed 20 psi. Meh. Standard sort of dot 4, like I said, 220-ish, somewhere around there. Although I have a feeling that might be the thing for dot 3. I got no idea now. What I'll do is I'll put up on the screen what the standard sort of is around these things, because there's three compatible brake fluids that you can put in these things. Right, you've got dot 3, which is old school. You've got dot 4, which is the standard, pretty much, and you've got dot 4, 5.1. Ignore 5. That's silicon fluid. That's a different beast altogether. Now, this is dot 4. Now normally I'd say I'll chuck dot 5.1 in because it's got a higher boiling point, but this is proper racing brake fluid. Now, the boiling point on this stuff is 325. Now I don't think we're going to get anywhere near that, but this was, you know, there was one up from this. I can't remember what it was, but I thought that 325, you know, was, you know, and considering how much this cost, nearly as expensive as the friggin' oil that goes in this thing, then I thought that this was, you know, so this year, this is something I don't want to waste. And you've got to do this. You've got to put it, there we go. If you don't do it like this, it doesn't work. You've got to have a smiley face. Don't waste it. So I like to make sure that we go in first with a 6-point deep socket, because that way when you get a bit of, you know, resistance like this, then you've got the best tool for the job on there. There we go. Oh, easy, 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 easy. Oh, okay. So what we're going to do now, there we go, we've got gravity working with us. So I'm going to, right, so that should be off there, or off enough, I should say. And we get that, yeah, get a full range around there. So that's off at the moment, yeah, here we go. So we've got a bit of gravity bleed going on there. And I think there we go. Oh. Oh, that's a bit murkier, that one. Right. Right. Oh. Now this one was a little bit 6-point sockets, see? 6-point sockets. Oh, it's just under 500 mil. So yeah, you don't want to visit the doctor with that. Lovely. Right. So we've replaced pretty much everything in there with, you know, new fluid. That is something I've got to dispose of responsibly now. I'll stick it back in here and forget I actually put it in there, and then try and use it again, because you do, don't you? Now, I can't actually remember whether it's a BMC or if it's a K&N. Either way, the principle's the same. You have to clean it, and I have cleaned this once, twice, I can't remember how many times. It has been cleaned, but we need to look after it. Oh, okay. It's not looking great. Oh, there is a special kind of soap. This is pretty much the same stuff. There it is, that wasn't too difficult to find. Ah, that's the cleaner. I knew I had some somewhere. That's the stuff. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Okay. Now, I give it a very light dusting on the back, but I want it soaked. Right. Okay. There we go. There we go. So, here's something interesting I've noticed about this engine. That is its preferred oil level. If I fill that up to full, within 400-500 miles, it's gone back down to that, but it never goes any lower. Good, isn't it? So, tyres. Now, you can turn up to your track day and you can run whatever tyres that you run on the road on the track. And that makes things easier, you know, and if you're only doing a couple of laps, say like it's an action day or something, great, fantastic. If you're going to be there all day, you're going to put a hell of a lot of strain, a hell of a lot of wear on that rubber. That may or may not be okay for you. I know that or my personal preference is to run a separate set of wheels and rubber for the bulk of the track day. So I will take these, they will go in the back of the car, and I will swap them when I'm happy that the car is happy doing what it's doing and it's not absolutely mullering down with rain. These are, I think these are AD08Rs, or Yokohama AD08Rs. They're getting on a bit now. They're a couple of years old. I think they're the previous version. A lot of people rate these over the new version, but there you go. They are technically road legal, and they are still road legal. There is enough tread on those. So in theory, I could put those on the car and turn up and do that. However, I know that after I've done 50, 60 laps on those, they won't be road legal anymore. So, like I said, I rock up using the road wheels, swap them over after I've made sure the car's happy, and then I do the bulk of the track day on those, and then swap back over to go home. These are a lot softer, they're a lot more track orientated, and trust me, they make a massive difference into your lap times. They're more focused for what you're doing. I would arguably you could say they were safer, but you know that's that's all relative, isn't it? The difference between the two, and those are my soon-to-be fitted PS3s, and the reason why that is because the PS3s that I've got on the car, my road wheels at the moment, are on the they get in there. Right, they're still legal, but after this they won't be, so they'll be swapped for those. During the bulk of the track day, I will be using these, and they're a slightly lighter wheel, and they are like I said, you can see where these have, like I said, I've used them before, and I know that these make a massive, they're a game changer on a track day, really they are. And you don't have to do it like that, but that's the way I prefer to do it. So, it's the day before. Things are getting exciting, you know, bit of anticipation. When you are there, you have a finite amount of time, and you paid probably not an inconsiderable amount of money to be there. So the more efficient that you can make things for yourself on the day, the better. Now the first one is fuel. You are going to turn up at that track with a car reasonably full of fuel, because that would be daft if you didn't, and you are going to bomb it round that track, and your fuel economy is going to be hilarious. It'll probably be down to single figures. I know mine will be. If you've got a massive tank in your car, brilliant, fantastic. I don't. and it's probably likely that a lot of you won't either. Do you break camp in the middle of the day and go and try and find some fuel local to the track? No. You take your own fuel. Now, that is 25 litres of quality 99 E5 in quality cans. That's more than enough to do all the track work that I want and get out of there and probably get home easily. So I shouldn't have a problem. It just helps during the day, because if you've got to stop what you're doing to go and get some fuel or pay yourself back, you're enjoying yourself. I can't do too many laps, I'm going to use too much fuel, I won't be able to get home. No. Take the can, trust me. Right, next one, tyres. As you can see, already they will go in the back of the car. Everything, all of this goes in the back of the car. As I've mentioned, what I do is I turn up on the road tyres, I do a few laps to check everything's okay with the car, sight everything in, get my bearings. I then swap over to these bad boys. I do the main of the day on those, and then before I go home, because they'll be ruined, I swap back over to the road wheels. Job done. Everything's nice, everything's legal, everything's safe. You can see the trolley jack. Now, you might look at that trolley jack and think, good God, how is that thing still, is that thing safe? Of course it's bloody safe. But it's a perfectly fully functional, safe trolley jack, and all it needs to do is lift the one side of the car up on a block of wood so I can get my axle stands under there. If I need to do any serious work. All I'm really doing is a side at a time to change those bad boys over. That's all I should be doing. If I've got to do any other work, that's another thing, right? But what I also carry is brake cleaner, a tarpaulin, I'll get onto that in a second. It's a block of wood there that goes under there. A suite of fluids. So I've got gear oil, engine oil, brake fluid, the good stuff, chocks. Now these are important because you don't put your handbrake on when you go back to the pit, because they'll be red hot and it could jam on. A funnel, I've probably got another one somewhere. Tyre iron, I'm not sure why I've got track rod ends in there, but hey, emergency repair devices. Right, the tarpaulin, when it inevitably rains, because even if the forecast says it isn't going to rain, it will, you've got this to cover everything up. You're on the track, your stuff sat there, open to the elements. You cover that with a tarpaulin. Job done, nothing gets wet. Or it's rained, you take the tarpaulin off all of this, you have to get under the car for whatever, you have to do this, you have to do that, you stick the tarpaulin on the deck, you don't get wet. Game changer. Now, tools. Now I know a lot of you might not have these, but I do. And the reason why I'm packing these and taking these is because they speed things up. If I've got to do anything, they make things quicker. And like I said, you're paying to be there. So, if that thing saves you 10-15 minutes, that's 5 laps, And they're not that expensive, but I've been through these before. Actually, this could do with a clean. But it's a game changer. Now, this, I'll bring on this, is my standard toolkit. I've had this in a, ready, this is my go toolkit. It's what I keep in the van. Yeah. So you've got 3/8 socket set, 1/4 inch socket set because it's handy, penetrator. There's a whole slew of spanners there. What else have we got here? Locking wire pliers, pry bar, spare spark plugs. I don't actually know what's in here. I think is it? Oh, they're essential. No. iPro, hammers, multimeter, screwdriver, 1/2 inch. There's another set of long sockets in there, which I didn't have a home for. Allen keys, various different bits and pieces. It's not, and as I might have mentioned, I'm not a professional. I've just accrued all this over time. And like I said, this is not a de facto But it does, and this is what I can. Basically, there's enough in there to make sure that I should be able to repair and deal with the majority of stuff that can go wrong. You know, anything falls off it, we should be able to sort it out. We should have enough, you know, to get it fixed and sorted. And all of this will go in the back of there, as we will see. Another pretty important sort of tool you might is, you know, the old portable compressor. Now, mine obviously runs off a little battery. I'm not going to big up this particular one. It was cheap. It's good because you might find that, given the temperature of the day, or you might find something else has gone wrong, that, you know, you need to change your tyre pressure. Now, bearing in mind these tyres here haven't actually been checked. 23. Now, see, that's too low. Oh, going for it. Of course, at any moment in time, health and safety could show up. So you have to make sure that everything is above board. A lot of tracks will insist that you run with your towing eye or eyes in place. Now, most cars come with one of those in the old kit. You only normally get one, and to be honest with you, they're a little bit inflexible. Now, you might see, if you go down to Mackey's car park on a Friday night, a couple of, you know, 1.2 Vauxhall Corsas with these adorned with a Sparco logo, right? And they do absolutely nothing. You know, it's just a flappy bit of cloth that they've stuck. This, however, is a bit more than that, and the actual strap itself is a proper motorsport one, whereas the rest of it is something I've knocked up to make it work on a track day. So you can put these in. I always forget something. During the proceedings, as it were, what I will be doing is I'll be running diagnostic and live ODB data up with the head unit, checking temperatures and one thing or another, as you know we can do. But I've got a little module here, the old top scan, which, if I have any major electrical engine related gremlins, we might be able to diagnose and get rid of and sort out whilst we're there. Something like that, again, a little tool, 40-50 quid, could be the difference between you having fun on your track day and you coming off after half an hour with something broken that you can't, you know. It's universal, it's plug and play, lasts about a year, works great, and it will do everything you need to do. So I don't have to cart the laptop round to, you know, talk to it. And yeah, it's a good bit of kit, that. Not sponsored, by the way. So over the years, I've had a variety of different helmets to use, because helmets on a track day are usually mandatory, as is the whole sleeves, long trousers and sensible footwear thing. So I've got helmets because I ride a motorcycle, and that's my spare helmet here for the passenger. I think only this one's British Motorsport registered, but that's actually the helmet I use all the time on the motorcycle, and it's a good lid, and that's a slightly bigger lid for the passenger. But yeah, you need that as well. You can usually hire them at the places if you should so require it. So there you go. Short of a few personal effects, bag of food, some snacks, some drinks, and some camera equipment, which you obviously may or may not use, that's your lot. And that should be everything that you need for your track day. That's what I'm taking anyway. I've even taken the old mats out of it, so, you know, there's weight saving. It's all about weight saving, isn't it? Anyway, so hopefully you found this useful. I mean, the next thing is that we'll obviously film the old track day and stick that up and what have you. But yeah, it's not an involved process to get the best out of it, and that's why I put this out. Because you've got to be able to prep to get the best out of the day, to get the most efficient thing out of the day. So like I say, with a few tools and a few bits and pieces and all that. So you're not doing it when you're there, and you're not wasting your track time, you know. Or perhaps if it's raining or something like that, it gets, you know, it kind of takes the shine off it. But if you've got prep in place, you know. I mean, I've got a gazebo which will fit in there by the looks of it, and it'll all fit in the back of that little thing, right? And I am taking a passenger. So, yeah, it's all good. It's all excellent. So, you know, I'll catch you on the next one, and don't forget, you know, have a crack.
It's alright, that.